Hello, everybody. How are you doing? We are finally starting here. Sorry, we're starting a little late. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
The
Yes.
devil was in the Zoom app today. I have been trying to log in, and it would not let me log in, and all of a sudden it worked. I have no idea what happened. Never had that happen before. I've used Zoom a quadrillion times. It was the weirdest thing. Like I would keep clicking join now, join now. My internet's at like 600 megs. I mean, it's blazing fast too. I have no idea what's going on. Anyways, well, hallelujah. I just was praying the whole time, like, God, you must really have a blessing for some folks as the enemy is trying to block, the prince of the power of the air is trying to block this meeting from happening. I'm kidding. All right, y'all, let's pray and just ask God to help us have a good time today, and we'll jump into some music. Does that sound cool?
Yes.
Let's do it. Lord, we love you, God. Thank you for this time together. Pray you bless this time. Pray and protect us, Lord, from the enemy today, and help us to have a good time. Help us to learn, to be a blessing to your kingdom. We can be a blessing, Lord, and have a fun time. In Jesus' name, amen. The other fun part is I'm having people work on my house right now. So if you hear like banging in the background, that's not my kids. That is actually construction work going on. So anyways, hey, if you will, everybody, just type in the chat real fast and just tell me, like, if you have any questions, anything you want to discuss today, because I've got the keyboard set up and you'll be able to hear it and we're going to have a good time. But if you have any particular questions that you want to ask also, just about music, about gospel music, whatever you want to talk about, hit me with them and we will talk about them also. So I'll give everybody a minute. If you don't have any questions, feel free just to like type in the chat, like where you're from. Oh, cool. Okay, my lights are blinking now, so I really have no idea what's happening now. So my lights are flickering. There are electricians working at my house, so that might have something to do with it. I don't know. So if this whole meeting gets disconnected, we'll redo it. I'll send out an email. Okay, cool. San Antonio, Texas. What's up, Sam? How you doing? I see a couple of Barbara here today. Don't really have any questions. Brianna. I don't want to say that wrong, so I'm going to say it both ways because I've
Brianna.
It's Brianna. Okay, cool. Brianna, that's a cool name. My daughter's name is Rayana. So all the Annas and Annas always throw me off. Paul, Dean, Joseph, Jeannie, Melissa, Jessica. Oh my goodness. Thank you all for hooking up with us today. We're going to have a good time. Somebody said how to get that James Cleveland sound. Connie, I'm sorry. You're going to have to be James Cleveland to get the James Cleveland sound. Nobody, only James Cleveland is going to sound like James Cleveland. So, the war cry. Come on now. How do you play preacher chords? All right. We got some fun stuff. So where would y'all put yourselves today? Like, just type in the chat also, like if you feel like you're more of a beginner or if you feel like you're more of a like intermediate, advanced, whatever. Also, you can type in there if you don't really know, just type in what's the biggest chord you know. Like, do I know 7th chords, 9th chords, augmented, 13ths, whatever, 17ths, 24ths. I'm just kidding, those aren't chords. Do you have some rhythm exercises? I've learned some church songs with chords, but struggling with playing on the right timing. All right, we got somebody from Brazil here, the Lambus. Awesome people there, great, awesome family. Basics and 7ths. Okay, cool. And how is the sound? Everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, and then how's the keyboard? Can you hear the keyboard okay? Because I can turn it up if it's too quiet. Of course, make sure your volume's up first before you tell me to turn it up.
There's sound on the keyboard.
It's kind of quiet?
Yeah.
All right, how about now?
No.
We don't hear it.
Don't hear it at all? Okay, well, bummer.
We just hear your keys.
Nothing. Let me adjust my audio real quick. Preferences. You would think you wouldn't have to do this every single time, but apparently you do. All right, how about now? Still hear me? And can you hear the keyboard? Is it cool?
Yeah.
Too loud? Good. Okay. It feels a little fuzzy to me in my ear. It might just be my headphones. Okay. Still loud enough?
Maybe down a smidgen.
Down a smidgen? And how's my voice? The voice still cool? Or is it too loud? Cool? Good? We good? Okay, sweet. Sorry, just to take care of some housekeeping stuff. It's no fun if we can't hear, right? All right. I'm a beginner to intermediate, 7, 9, 11 chords. Awesome. So yeah, I love it. I don't want to go too fast and I don't want to do too much crazy stuff. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to start off just from the top with some of these questions. tell me more. Connie, take a second. Tell me more about the James Cleveland sound. Like, what part of his sound are you referring to?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I am referencing, I love the song, If Jesus is the Best Thing that ever happened
Me
to me.
too.
And I can't find, I used to have the sheet music from it like years ago, and it was a simplified version, but now the company went out of business, and I can't find it anywhere, not even on eBay or Etsy or anything. And I'm more of a reader. I'm
Gotcha.
more of a reader. So.
Gotcha. Okay. I moved so fast you didn't even see me leave, did you?
Yeah.
So James Cleveland, that particular song, just to jump into that, if you've never heard Jesus is the Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me, it's one of our staples at our church. We do it a lot.
Right.
So it is, if you listen to the James Cleveland sound, he has a very unique sound, and in more than one way. Like, of course, his piano playing is very unique. Let's see. He uses a lot of octave chords. In that particular song, in one version, he's just playing keys and he's singing, right? Or organ, maybe. So to get that sound, I mean, it's really more rhythmic than anything. And then, of course, his voice does it all, because his voice is, he just has the James Cleveland sound. So that particular sound, as long as you know the chords, the way we do it at our church, we kind of took it and we just kind of made it more like bluesy. You know what I'm saying? I think somebody got a little sound. You might have to mute yourself if you got a little crazy. Somebody sounds like there's smoke alarm going off or something. Let me see where that's coming from. Okay, cool. I saw like somebody muted it there. So you really have to just get the chords and then turn it into more of a bluesy type style. And we do it in A flat. Maybe that is me, y'all. Is that me? Anybody know what that is? That beeping is gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna have to fire the sound man here in a minute. Maybe it's my iPad or something. I don't know. Let me mute everybody real quick. And I'm gonna turn my iPad off. Maybe it's my iPad. I'm telling you, the devil is fighting this Zoom call today. All right, let's see. Mute everybody. Mute all. Where is the mute button today, guys? Exit. What is going on? The screen's just totally different than how it normally looks. Okay, I think the sound, I think somebody fixed their thing. You may have to mute yourself from time to time too, guys. So just FYI. All right, so anyways, yes, but if you've never heard that song, take some time, listen to that song. We may cover that in a future thing too. That is an awesome question. But yeah, to get that sound, you pretty much just got to play it kind of a bluesy style. Get a nice little jazz drummer playing in the background, and it'll sound cool. We may cover that more in depth later. And I need to make a chord sheet for that, because that's an awesome song. So thank you, Connie.
Would you think about making a chord?
That would be wonderful.
Really? A lot of people want that? I'll tell you what, I'm gonna make that chord sheet. So if I haven't made it by next week, remind me, okay? We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it for y'all. And then once you've got that, you can just play it however you want to, you know what I mean? You can turn it into however you want to play it, whatever rhythm you feel. And then how do you play preacher chords? Oh man, so I tell you what, check out, I don't have a name, it just says Galaxy Tab S7. So a lot of people like the preacher chords. Let me switch over so y'all can quit seeing my ugly face and you can see the actual piano. So preacher chords are pretty much just like what I call turnaround chords. You're pretty much gonna play the same thing. And all right, let me share my screen real quick. Share. Okay, you should be able to see the keyboard now, the on-screen keyboard instead of me. All right. So if you haven't, check out our YouTube channel, and there is a really cool. Can everybody see the keyboard? Okay. Okay.
Yes.
I see some nods. So cool. Check out our YouTube channel, and we did a how to play a shout, easiest way to play a shout in the world. And check that out, and it will show you how to play the chords. I don't want to take, just out of respect for everybody else that's on the call, I don't want to take the whole call and put preacher chords on there. But basically, it'll show you how to do the walk-ups, right? In a nutshell, preacher chords is just this. If you're in C, C7 over E, F7, okay, which is an E flat AC, F sharp diminished or E flat diminished, okay? You can make it a diminished seventh as well, fully diminished seventh, E flat, G flat, AC. All the notes are a flat a third apart, okay? And then you could couple things you can land on. You can land on a C minor over G, a C over G, F over G. Let's see. I'm not even sure which one I do. I think I do F over G when I do it. No, I do a major. So I do a C over G, but it's so fast. It's like. Just that kind of stuff. And you can also take the first chord. We teach this in the video, and we also have a whole course on it. I think it's AP Shout 304, something like that. C minor 7 over E, which is just an E flat major over E, which makes no sense at all, but it sounds cool. And then like an F chord of some kind, whether it's an F6 like this or an F7 or something like that, you know. And then the G flat. And you can literally, for your preacher chords, if you're a beginner preacher chorder, you can literally just do that. Another one you can do is go to your flatted 7th. So like B flat in the key of C, right? Your flatted 7th is 2 notes down from your 1. So play a B flat major chord, and then go to an F7, and then go to C, back to C. Okay, and the C chord I'm playing is in the right hand. I've got a C octave with the 5th in the middle, so C, G, C. In my left hand, I've got C, G, B flat, just something like that. So left hand, C, G, B flat, right hand, C, G, C. And then I'm gonna go down to B flat, just a major chord, right? So my right hand's playing D, F, B flat, left hand's B flat and F. And then I'm going to F7, a 4 chord, E flat, A, C, with a double F in the left hand. And then back to the C chord, right? So usually a lot of times we'll do like with the drummer. So the preacher starts getting going, and we're already, you know, your best preacher chord is we just hold the 1. You know, I mean, literally, you know, sometimes we make it more complicated than it is. Okay, and then we're gonna go down to the B flat. Drummer, bop bop, double snare, bop bop, back to C. And I'm just kind of, you know, doing my hands back and forth like that. It's basically like you got the palsy or something, you know, like you got shaky hand. And then down to B flat once again. And of course, B flat, you can do the double octave B flat as well. B flat, F, B flat. Back to F7. So the way we do it at our church, like on Sunday, we were doing this. I'm holding the C, I'm holding the 1 down, right? The drummer's gonna go bop bop. When you go to B flat, he's gonna go bop bop. Bop bop. Or something like that. And then, you know, you just kind of have to sync it. You got to look at each other, you know, look at the drummer, you know what I'm saying? Do the whole preacher chord thing. So anyways, practice that. Get that in all your keys. That's a really easy one to do. So you can do the 3-4, sharp 4-5, you know, E, F, F sharp, or you can do this B flat thing. If you want to dress it up, instead of just a plain B flat, do like a B flat 9 or something, you know, and then do an F9, and then back to your C. And then for like a little chord thing, or a little fill thing, just do the minor blues scale, you know, C, E flat, F, G flat, G, B flat, C, either up or down. That kind of sounds James Cleveland-y. And if you hit it sloppy, it doesn't matter. Like if you're hitting notes, like sometimes we try to play too pretty. Like we're so concerned, like we're gonna hit a wrong note. Like you're supposed to hit wrong notes. Like, you know, I hit a wrong note right there. I hit the B and the C at the same time. It doesn't matter. Play sloppy when you're doing this kind of stuff. It's kind of a, I don't want to call it a sloppy style because it sounds disrespectful to it, but it's Eddie Brown. If you never check out Eddie Brown on YouTube, he's one of the best gospel keyboardists out there. Maybe the best. He's crazy. And that's one thing he says. He was playing with a guy one time when he was beginning, and the guy said, "You play too clean," you know. And I've never forgotten that, because a lot of times we try to play too clean, like we're so concerned about hitting a wrong note. But you know, sometimes with this style, when you're playing like this, you know, it's a little bit of a dirty, you know, sloppier style. So don't be so concerned about hitting the wrong notes that you don't do anything cool with it. Okay, so then B flat, F, back to C. All right. Let me go back to the questions here. Chat. Let me scroll down. Let's see. What else do we have here? Do you have some rhythm exercises? I've learned some church songs with chords, but struggling with playing on the right time. Oh, and I'm sorry, the preacher chords. Is that helpful for anybody? I should have asked. I'm sorry. Is that helpful? Okay, cool. I got some nods, some thumbs up. All right, so it's helpful. Let me go back where I can actually see everybody here. I wish it was. I can't see everybody as well as I wish I could. All right. So also somebody asked, do you have the rhythm exercises? I do. Jessica, can you tell me a little bit more when you say rhythm exercises, like tell me more, like what's your struggle? Is it like your left hand rhythm? Is it right hand rhythm? Is it just all around? I feel like I'm reading it where it's all around, and you may have to unmute yourself as well. Does anybody else struggle with rhythm ever?
Yes, I do.
And I do as well.
Struggle as well?
Yes.
Okay. I told y'all the story. I think most of y'all were on the call last week. I told you about the horrible drummer that I grew up with that had like zero rhythm. I mean, he was awful. And he just kept practicing and taking lessons and practicing with the metronome until he became he actually competed in drum competitions and won, and stuff like that. He became really, really good, basically like professional level. So you can teach yourself to have better rhythm. As far as exercises, a couple of things that I like to tell people is if it's the entire rhythm thing, because sometimes people struggle with just their left hand rhythm or just their right hand rhythm if they're left-handed or something like that. But if it's just all around rhythm that you're struggling with, a couple things I'd recommend when you're taking our classes, make sure you practice with the practice songs that we give you. If the song doesn't have a practice song, like it's an actual song you can play with on YouTube, practice it with the YouTube song, like practice it with the recording. In other words, a lot of times we get so focused on just playing it by ourselves and trying to get it down by ourselves that we don't go back and actually try to play it with the recording. Okay. Now, maybe you're playing it in a different key from the recording. Maybe you're just a beginner, or maybe you're intermediate and you don't have a recording for the song. Maybe the course doesn't provide it for some reason, or the original is in the wrong key, so you can't practice with it because it drives you crazy because you're playing two different keys. In that case, what I found helpful, I hate playing with a metronome or a click track, as they call them. They're really annoying. So what I like to do instead is I like to practice with like a little drum beat. So usually I'll turn like on a loop. If you don't have the loop called apps, the app called Loops by C-Dub, you definitely need to get that. I talked about that last time. But you can also get a bunch of free loops. There's tons of free loops on the internet for gospel. You just got to find them. If you don't, I tell you what, if you will email me, I'll send you a link to my personal like little database of free loops that I have. And I got them for free. So, it's not like, and they weren't for sale. So it's not anything that's copywritten or anything. So they were given away to me by the person that made them. That's one thing that I would do is also check that out. Okay. Practice with loops. And then also if you have a keyboard, practice with the drums. You know what I'm saying? Like turn on like a drum beat, and usually you can turn the rhythm up or down, practice with those. And then as far as for exercises, we as gospel musicians, I think sometimes we're not as aware. Sometimes we play so much by feel that we're not as aware that like music is a number system. It's a math system. Okay. So when we're playing, usually we're playing in 4/4 timing, right? Unless it's in 6/8 or something. 4/4 timing just means like you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's beats in between the straight like upbeat, as they call it. In other words, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that's like the those are just the straight beats, but there's ands between those as well. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So here's what I would do to practice, y'all. Okay, this really helped me out. Practice, just take one note or one chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are called quarter notes. Okay. Because they're basically a measure has 4 notes generally, or 4 beats generally, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're playing in 4/4 timing. So and if all of this is kind of Greek to you, also check out the free lessons, or if you remember, check out the lessons AP 303. Okay, the first like 2 lessons, it will really, really help you out with this stuff. So quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what we're going to do, and even if you're advanced, this stuff can help you right here. Start counting the 8th notes. So 8th notes are 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I would turn on like a metronome. I don't have one just like on this keyboard sitting around, but on my other keyboard I do. Turn on the metronome or turn on a beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. Once you've got, and practice that with the metronome or with the drum beat, okay? Make sure you're staying on beat. Once you've got the 8th notes down, practice 16th notes. And we count those like this: 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E. So it's 1 E and a. And it's literally like 1, the letter E, plus is the and sign, and then A, like the letter A. So 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. You see what I'm saying? And that's really actually 8th notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and 2. And that's where when you double up, that's the 16th. Also practice the triplets: 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Literally, and you can go on YouTube as well, guys. There's rhythm exercises on YouTube that you can also practice, that you can look up, and they'll teach you how to practice this stuff. There's even fifth notes, like instead of just 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, they have 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2. If you never heard the jazz song, I almost said gospel song, Take 5. Have y'all ever heard that song? It's an old jazz standard. No, it's in 5/4 timing, so it has 5 beats per measure instead of 4 beats per measure. So it's 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 1 2. So instead of it being in 4/4 timing, it's in 5/4. So that's the take 5, right? So there's actually beats in between. You also have double triplet notes, or like 8th note triplet notes. But anyways, study that stuff on your own. But those are kind of some rhythmic exercises that you can work with. And then as far as like when you're playing, imagine like you're playing drums in your hand when you're playing songs. So like Blessed Be Your Name. You can play Blessed Be Your Name really simple because it's 4/4 timing, right? That is plentiful. Streams of blessed be your name. It's pretty boring, right? Very, very boring. But if you start playing on the ands with your rhythm, more like a guitar almost, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So right there, I'm playing on the 1, the and of 2, and the 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. You see what I'm saying? So the ands add like an accent. They add like another dimension to the playing where it doesn't sound so straight and so boring and so plain. So play around with playing your chords, not just on the straight beats, 1 2 3 4, but on the ands. And then the same thing is like also do your hands like do them like back and forth, like that's a little like too much, you know what I'm saying? But is that helpful though? Does that kind of make sense what I'm saying? I don't know if that's too much.
Yes, it makes sense.
That's cool. Okay. Hopefully that's jiving. So the ands are where it's at, y'all. It's all about the ands. If you can play on those ands, it just adds so much to your playing. And then also, if you haven't gone over the left hand rolling bass line thing, I think it's in like AP 101, where we play 1 5 1 on the left hand. That adds a lot too. But the biggest thing is practicing with a metronome, because so many of us, we're so used to our own timing that it's no bueno. Because our own timing is not good. It's not straight. Let's see. I may have to do something real quick. Telling me we're almost out of time and like we just started this thing. So we should have like another 20 minutes going. I'm not sure why it's telling me that. I may have to upgrade this dealio real fast. Let me keep reading through the questions. But yeah, is that helpful? Like, tell me how that helps you, or how you think you could maybe use that in your plan. Let's see. Upgrade. There we go. What are some ideas? Like, does that give you any like get any of the juices flowing in your brain? You know what I mean? Nobody, unfortunately. I'm not a good teacher. That hurts.
No, but as for me, I'm practicing sanctuary. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start putting some of those chords on the end, because right now it sounds really boring.
Nice.
So I'm going to incorporate some chords on the and in the right hand.
Awesome. Love it. Thanks, Connie. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. So add some stuff in the right hand, add some stuff in the left hand, just get some rhythm going, right?
Right. Yeah.
Hey, also, you gotta feel it, guys. A lot of times people forget like to feel it when they're playing, like play with their soul, play with their heart. And it sounds maybe kind of cheesy to some people, but you really have to do that. Okay, cool. It was about to kick us out, so I just upgraded real fast, so we've got more time. So you've got to play with your soul, guys.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I have a problem deciding sometime between whether to play, like if it's a C, whether to play it in maybe second inversion or to play like a sus chord.
To play like a sus chord or a second inversion?
Yeah, even on some of your chord sheets, you know, I have a problem deciding between the two. Gotcha.
You know what? That's something that will come with time and practice, Barbara, but it's going to take probably most of us don't have perfect pitch. So we struggle a little bit sometimes with what inversion to play. That's going to be something that you'll just kind of have to take on a song by song basis. Over time, you will get better at it. I would show you my trumpet. It's on the other side of the room over there. That's one thing that I bought. I bought a trumpet because it's a single note instrument. You can't play two notes on a trumpet at the same time. Not to my knowledge anyways. It's one note at a time. So I bought that because I wanted to be able to hear the notes better. You know what I'm saying? Like I can hear a chord and generally tell you what kind of chord it is, but I couldn't and I can hear the movements. I can feel the changes really, really well. I mean, I can listen to a song and figure it out by just listening to it. But sometimes I was the same way. I would struggle. Two things that have helped me out a lot as someone else that doesn't have perfect pitch. AP 702 is our jazz voicing class. Okay. If you remember, you should have access to it already. What it does, it takes all of the chords. There's 33 chords we use in gospel music, but mainly the sevenths. It takes those. And y'all can still see my screen, I think, right? The keyboard. Just making sure. Yeah. You can still see the screen, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So it takes here's a C major 7, right? Here's how they teach it to you in classical music, like classical piano. C, E, G, B. That's the C major 7. However, that has the 7th on the top. Like we talk about in our classes, that is worthless to us because we hardly ever play it like that. I mean, it just doesn't sound real good. So what we do, and that's the C major 7, right? The C dominant 7 or C7 would be with the B flat on top. So we'll take the C major 7 just as the example. And there's actually multiple voicings you can use to play a C major 7. So you could play this with any one of these 4 notes on top. It could be played with the C note on top. By on top, I mean the top of the piano is up here on our right? Okay, so we could play with the C note on top. Okay, and this is how we would do it. We'd play 1, 7, 3, 5, 1. Thank you. My sweet wife just brought me some more water because I was parched. When I talk a lot, I drink a lot. All right, and this I won't. I'm not going to weigh in. I'll spend a lot of time on this because it's in the chorus, right? The second way we can also play with the 3 on top, but we still want to have all of these chords equally distributed in the chord, right? I mean, all these notes equally distributed in the chord because we need to have the 1, 3, 5, and 7 to make this a C major 7. So now to put the 3 on top, I'm going to play C and G in the left hand, my 1 and 5, and in my right hand, I'm going to play 3, 7, 3. So it's still a C major 7. I'm just voicing it a different way. Maybe I want to play it with the 5 on top or the G on top. So now I'm going to play it with the 1 and 5 in the left hand, the 7. And even if you're a beginner, guys, hang on here too. Try to pick up on some of the number stuff we're talking about. Number stuff is the most important thing in all of music. It's more important than knowing your notes. Maybe not that important, but it's pretty important. And then B, 7, and then your E is your 3, G is your 5. Okay, so that's with my G on top. It's still a C major 7. I'm just voicing it a different way because I want that on top. Okay, and I'm going to give you an exercise to do that'll solidify all this. And then you can also play it with the 7 on top. So that's once again 1 and 5 in the left hand. And then you have 7, 3, 7 in the right hand. Okay, and that just sounds better than this to me, anyways. In the right spot, right? So what we do in this exercise in our course is we take all of these voicings. So first of all, we're going to start with just one voicing to make it simple. So let's say we'll start with this one because this is the simplest to me. 1 and 5 in the left hand, right? In the right hand, 7, 3, and 5. You with me? Okay. Now we're going to take it up a fourth. We're going to take it to the key of F. We're going to take it through the circle of fourths, or the circle of fifths, as they call it. To me, it's a circle of fourths because we're going up by fourths. Okay. So we're going up by fourths. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 notes up from C is F. Okay. So we're going to F next. And we're going to play 1 and 5 in the left hand, 7, 3, 5 in the right hand. Okay. And next we're going to go to B flat. And once again, you would keep doing this. E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B, E, A, D, G. We're back to C, right? Because it's a circle of fourths, okay? I did that really fast, but you can find circle of fourths. Anytime I learn something new, I take it through the circle of fourths to solidify it in my head. If I have time to do it at the moment. That's ideal. So what you do is you take this and you play. And once again, check out the course, guys, because it does it in a really systematic way where you're not having to like really think about it super hard. Like it gives you like, okay, you're only going to study the C major 7 right now. You know what I'm saying? And here's the exercises you'll do. So it makes it simple for you because it can be overwhelming if you think about taking every single chord through every single one of these voicings. That's a lot of work, right? So go through the system, take the course and do it right. But what you're going to do that every single day for a week. You're going to take it to the circle of fourths like once or twice a day in these different voicings. And what that's going to do, Barbara, and everybody else listen, it's going to teach your ear to start recognizing what's the 5, what's the 3, what's the 1, what's the 7. Like when I hear a chord being played, it also starts teaching you to recognize the chords themselves. So now, like I could hear somebody play that and I would know like that's a major 7. Now, I don't know that it's a D major 7. I don't know what note it is. I don't know the name of the chord, but I know what type of chord it is. You see what I'm saying? So it teaches you to start recognizing the chords. And if you're in the key of C and you can feel the changes, because a lot of us can play and feel the changes, 1 to the 4, back to the 1, right? We can feel the changes to the 6. But it's going to teach us to start recognizing the chord. Yeah, it's amazing, guys. It blew my mind when I did it. I was taking jazz classes and I actually learned this by accident. So it'll teach you how to recognize the chords. It'll teach you how to recognize what the note is on top. It's unbelievable. So check that course out if you're there. Sam said 7, 9, 11 chords are the highest that he knows. So that's awesome. Beginner, late beginner. See if we have any more questions. Where can you get chord sheets at? If you go to our website, you can buy them on our website, or if you become a member with the complete membership, you get them included in your membership. You can download them. Sam said, understanding your chord symbols, C // Thank you for mentioning that. That can be a little confusing for people. Those are rhythmic marks. So if you see a C followed by 3 slashes, the note itself is a rhythm as well. Okay, so that's the first beat. And then the 3 slashes after it, each one of those is for 3 more beats. So if you see C with 3 slashes, it would be C, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then if you have F with 3 slashes, F, 2, 3, 4. If you have an A minor with 2 slashes, 1, 2. Okay, so basically the way I teach my students is the slash is the right hand. The name of the chord is both hands together. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense for everybody there. Let's keep on going. Do you have a chord sheet for this? How do you play when the saints go marching in? Oh man, that's one of my songs right there. I love that song. Da-da-da-da-da. It's really just like 1/5. Anyway, you're gonna get me on a rabbit trail here, man. Playing one of my favorite songs. So basically it's just C, when the saints go marching on, when the saints go marching G, Lord, I see to be in that F. And then it really goes to an F minor there. That's technically what I'm supposed to do. And then back to C, but I go to C over G. When the saints go. And then it's like an F over G. And that good old turnaround. Gospel turnaround. But anyways, I won't spell out the notes for you. Y'all can figure that out on your own. That is a fun song to play, though. That's one of my favorite songs to play on the horn over there. Will MIDIs ever accompany chord charts for purchase? That is a great question. The answer to that is probably not, unfortunately. I wish I had more hours in the day, but unfortunately, I wish I had like unlimited time. But I just say, if I had another life to give, Connie, it would be for that. I appreciate that question. That's a great question. I wish I could. I've played around with that before too, and just but I just it takes a lot. It's really time consuming. You know what I mean? So I wish. We are working on. We would like to make more live tracks for stuff, but there's just so many people out there doing that already. We just haven't seen it be beneficial for us yet. Cool. Yeah. So hopefully that's some helpful stuff, guys. I know it's just like we talked about a bunch of just random stuff today.
Can I ask a question?
I love it. Yeah.
In your opinion, why do you think traditional gospel music has faded away? Do you think it's just for business purposes, profiting it's not there anymore as far as the demand?
Wow.
I mean,
that's a great question.
Area. I'm 56 plus, so I'm from the 60s, 70s, 80s music. So do you feel like, why do you think that musicians don't even bother with playing it anymore?
Oh, wow. Seriously, that's an awesome question. And I honestly don't know the answer to that. If I had to guess, I would say, I don't know. There's been such a mesh of contemporary Christian music, or CCM, right? With gospel music, right? It's like the unholy matrimony. And I don't mind it. But for me, I like more of the old school stuff. That's just me. The camp meeting type style stuff. The new stuff is, I don't feel it as much. Okay, so for me, and I guess that's why everybody's different. For me, growing up, like they would play like, what was it, K-Love, or like, just the stuff you'll see on the radio. It just didn't do anything for me, because it was just like, Jesus is my boyfriend, or and I'm not nothing against it. I love some of the CCM songs out there they're coming out with are unbelievable. But you know what I'm talking about? Some of those songs where it's just real plain Jane. It's not like they wrote it, sitting on the back of their pickup truck or something, which is cool. I mean, I like pickup trucks, and stuff like that. And everything has its place, so it's just my preference. But when we moved and we went to Tampa and started going to like a gospel church, and I say gospel church because I was like my family, we were the only white family there. It was just like camp meeting every single service. And that's literally how my mom describes it. She said it's like we went to camp meeting every night. And so I just fell in love with that. And I think for me it was because of the rhythm and the beat and the groove. And I just, the only time I'd ever heard that before was on the rap station on Sunday morning. They'd play gospel music. That's my only exposure to that otherwise. So and we'd always listen all the way to church. My dad would. So I don't know why it's fading. I think it depends on the church. Like our church, we still do a lot of old school, like camp meeting type style songs. But I think a lot of churches are getting away from that. And I think a lot of churches are getting away from the old songs, period. Like the hymns, which to me, the Bible says sing to the Lord a new song. I love the new songs, but I also don't think we should put the old songs on the shelf to make way for only the new songs. Some of these songs that we sing, sometimes you hear every single church is singing it when you go there. And you hear the same song like every altar call. It's just like, there's a lot better songs out there. When I open my hymnal up, to me, I just think we have to be so careful, because I know a lot of those songs were written in the storm. A lot of those songs were written with anointing. And I just worry sometimes that some of the songs that are coming out nowadays, they're just written because somebody's trying to make a buck
Right.
on a new hot hit song with water references, as the old joke goes, water, fire references. That's all you need for a hit song. And the famous 4-chord.
Oh yeah. So many of those.
Spirit Breakout. And I love that song, Spirit Breakout, but it's just so I don't want this to come across like I'm like bashing like the new music, because I'm not. I love it. But I think that we have to be so careful just to do a good mix. And every church is different too. You know what I'm saying? So different churches, different personalities. Like when we go to visit my family in Oklahoma City, like it's their style out there, their camp meeting is very, very, very like CCM. Like, I don't want to sound racist, but like what I would call white gospel type, like white. It's very white, is how we say it at our church, because I go to a mixed church. So, and that's cool. I mean, we went to camp meeting, the Holy Ghost moved, God moved. They had a good time. You could feel the presence of God. So it works for them. At our church, if that's all we do, like, it's not going to work, because, we're a mixed congregation. So we have, we like to mix it up. So we do old stuff, we do new stuff, we do gospel stuff, we do Carrie Job stuff. So I don't know if that answers your question at all. I just kind of went on a tangent, but hopefully that makes sense to some degree. But I think the main key is just for us as music ministers and as worship leaders, we just have to be sensitive to God, like with what songs we're picking. We can't just pick a song because it's like the new trendy song, but we've got to pick songs because like God spoke to us in our worship time, in our prayer time, or when we were listening to a song, God put it on our heart and was like, y'all need to do that song at your church. That's why you should be doing a song at your church. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was the worship leader of my church, that's how we pick songs out. Like I would be worshiping, I'd be in my prayer time, I'd be, listening to a song in the car, and I start feeling the Holy Ghost. And I'm just like, man, this song has some anointing to it. And so we would take the song, we would try it out at church. If it went over good, try it out a couple of times. If it went over good, cool. If it didn't, hey, let's try something else next time, Because, the first time you play a song, it seems like nobody worships with it because nobody knows the songs, nobody knows the words yet, So anyways, I just realized y'all are probably just all staring at my keyboard there. I guess I should have gone back to my face there. So you don't just hear like the voice of the Wizard of Oz while I'm talking. Oh man, this has been fun, y'all. So let's see what else we can dive into. You know what else, just wrapping this up, if I can really encourage y'all in a couple of things, and this may sound silly to some of you advanced people, but I really want to encourage y'all just to focus on the numbers. Really, really focus on learning your numbers. So in other words, if you're playing in the key of C, do this too. Focus on memorizing your songs, internalizing them, as I like to say. Put the songs in your heart. You know what I'm saying? And it's not easy. But really, really try to make an effort to when you learn a song, do your very, very best to memorize it to where you don't have to have the chord sheet in front of you to play it. Because what that's going to do is that's going to free you up to really, really be able to play. Because you're going to stop focusing on the chord sheet and you're going to start focusing on your playing, and stuff's going to start coming to you. You know what I'm saying? So when you're playing, also think about what you're playing. So when you're playing the song, maybe you're still at that point where you're tied to that chord sheet. You don't feel comfortable letting go of it, right? But if you're there, focus on what you're playing. So if you're playing, like, think about like, okay, I'm in the key of C. Like it amazes me how many musicians I run into and like, they're not even sure what key they're playing in, but figure out what key you're in, because that's going to tell you what fills you can do. And then focus on, like, I'm going from the 1 to the 4 here, and then I'm going to the 6, then I'm going to the 5, because what that's going to do is going to allow you to translate into other keys. And you're never going to learn how to recognize the voices of the 1, 4, and 5, 6, 2, 5. You're never going to really be able to take that playing to the next level if you don't start recognizing what number you're on. Because it doesn't matter if I'm in the key of C, the 1 still sounds the same. If I'm in the key of F, the 1 still sounds the same. If I'm in the 6, I'm in the key of C or F or whatever, the 6 still sounds the same. The 7, it still has that kind of like heavenly, like I just went out of the key sound. Same thing with the flat 6. It has that same, like I just went out of the key, I just went somewhere else. So start really focusing on memorizing those, and use the exercises. I think it's AP 204 is where we really focus. And AP 202, we really focus on starting to recognize the voices and stuff. Really focus on that and work on that. Does anybody struggle with the numbers, or is that just something that I struggled with when I was learning?
No, but by me,
Good.
sight reader, by me being able, reading by sheet music, I think I'm hindered in a way when it comes to playing from chord charts, because with chord charts, I have to figure out the inversion of the chord I want to use, whereas when playing from sheet, everything is already there for me.
Say that last part one more time for me, Connie.
I feel like by me being a reader, reading music, I am hindered when it comes to the chord charts I purchased from the site, because I have to determine what inversion I have to use, versus when I'm reading the sheet music, everything is already there for me. So.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. You're right. In a way, that it does have the top note on there for you. And so I'm with you. It takes the guesswork out, right?
Yeah.
It does. Because I still play from the hymnal sometimes too. And it's like, I'm playing along. I know I don't have to think about what the melody note is. Like, it's there for me on the sheet. But what that also does is it can, some people, or a lot of people, it ties them up where they never go outside of that melody note. So in other words, it's always played with the melody note on top. And of course, we don't always want to play our songs with the melody note on top. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you do, but I'm just saying in general, a lot of people do. You want to get outside of that and start doing some different inversions. So if I'm playing Amazing Grace, I can play it like this. So I'm playing it with the melody on top. Now that's great if like I'm doing an intro or it's just me playing, nobody's singing. But now once somebody starts singing, now they're singing the accompaniment. They're playing the melody. They're singing the melody with their voice. And I really don't have a need to be playing the melody anymore. I don't need to play the melody. In fact, if I play the melody, I may not be playing the same melody in the same way that they're singing it, right? Especially if they're starting to really sing it. So in other words, what I need to do is I need to play more accompaniment. And so that's what the chord charts are mainly written for, is more for accompaniment. If you're playing with a singer, does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So if I'm playing with somebody singing it, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. So now I'm starting to get outside of those, just because if we play it with the melody, we're playing it, it's going to sound good. It'll just sound real churchy, which is fine. So it's going to sound very traditional, which is fine, if that's the sound you're going for in that moment, right? But we still want to be able to get outside of that and play with, once again, with our soul, not just exactly, because the problem with sheet music is you're playing it, and this is what always drove me crazy about sheet music, is you play it the same way every single time, which, is cool if that's what you want to do. But like when I sit down with a hymnal, what I'll try to do is I'll try to play the song with the melody the way they have it written in the hymnal. And then I start hearing the changes in my head. So even though it's not on the sheet, I start hearing the changes because I've played for too long. That's an awesome question. So thank you for mentioning that. So that is the downfall of the chord chart, is that you do have to play and you have to figure the melody and stuff out yourself. And I've played around with trying some different things, like how jazz standard books, they have the melody note at the top and then just the chord like right there above it. I've played around with making those. Once again, it's just so time consuming, And sometimes the way I sing the melodies, the way I hear the melody in my head is not exactly like maybe like every church does it. So love it. Oh my goodness. I have a feeling if we got together, we'd have a lot of fun playing the old songs, traditional stuff. Just turn on some Some good old camp meeting music and jam out for Jesus. Sweet, love it. Anybody else got anything they want to add? Oh, somebody said I'm still on AP 100. Do you have any chord sheets that I can use to practice my chords? Oh my goodness, yeah, there's a ton of them. Check out the. Of course, we try to give free ones in each lesson as well. But you can check out the free database, which is like 50 free chord sheets. Sometimes people get scared by the first sheet because it's the advanced first, and then you have to scroll down to get to the beginner. So pretty much every chord sheet we make has a beginner version below the advanced version. A lot of people just don't realize that. So.
Okay, I'm on the website. Maybe I'm just not looking in the right place.
Yeah.
And
go
I
under
also
products
don't mind
Uh-huh.
purchasing them either. I just need to know where to go.
Yeah. So if you'll look under products, under the drop down, click the drop down for products, and then it will say like existing chord sheets. And you could also use the search thingy at the top and just kind of type in like the name of the song you're looking for, and you might be able to pull it up that way too. And all the chord sheets are written in. Okay, sweet. And they're all written in beginner and intermediate and advanced as well. So.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Do you have ones that are just for practicing? Okay, I see what this is. This is chords, but in a song. Do you have ones that are just like you need to learn, each note, but in chords? So just
so it like shows you like
C.
what the chords are that you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
We do have some cheat sheets on there. Let me see. There is a cheat sheet somewhere. Let me type in cheat sheet in the. I call them cheat sheets.
Cheat sheets. Okay.
You want to memorize the. Of course, you want to memorize them, right? The chords.
Yeah, I just want to memorize my chords because I find that I'm good at hearing music and like following along with all of the instructions, like the lessons that you give, but it's hard for me to grasp like what I'm playing.
Gotcha.
I'm more just like feeling it and not knowing it.
Gotcha. So for me, what really helped me out was learning all of my chords first instead of going to the songs and trying to learn the songs by figuring out what chord is in that song and then learning that chord for that song. You see what I'm saying? So what you need to do, you need to go through, definitely should go through like the AP 100 series. Because what that's going to do is it's going to take every single chord one by one. So it's going to take C2, C6, C major 7, C dominant 7, C minor 7. And it's going to take you through every single one of those chords that we use. And eventually you're going to learn them in all 12 keys and take the guesswork out of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you want to take the fast track to that, it's more work, but it's all exercise. AP 204 is like we took all of the courses before it and just slapped them into one. It is a lot of info, but if you take AP 204, it will literally take you through every single chord, but it just doesn't give you all the applications. Okay. So that's why I like to say, start from the beginning, work your way through. You don't have to watch all the videos. Just read the study guides. The study guides will teach you everything you need to know. Also, I was going to say you should buy the Mastermind Quick Reference, but I think it'd be a waste of money for you, to be honest, because it doesn't have a breakdown of every single chord. So in AP 204, it has a breakdown of every single chord and every inversion for each chord.
Okay.
In all 12 keys. Does that make sense? So like it'll have all the major, minor, because there's 33 different chords you're going to come across in gospel music. Major, minor, dominant 7, major 7, minor 7. Those are the really common ones, C2, C9s, all the 9s, 11s, 13s, all that fun stuff. Diminished, augmented, suspended 4. Yeah, because you want to get to where those are just second nature for you. Those are kind of like the words of the vocabulary. It's almost like the alphabet, really, just knowing those chords. So yeah, you're going to do awesome once you get those.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I love music, guys. All right, y'all. This has been fun. I hate that I've got to run. It's 3:00. I know we started a few minutes late, but it's been fun. And are y'all cool? Let's plan to do this next week again if y'all are cool. Same time. We may try some different times out down the road, but for now, I like 2:00. It works good for me. So.
And we'll have that James Cleveland sheet music chord chart out.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. Oh my goodness. I got to send myself an email and remind me. around myself. Jesus is the best thing. I love that song. Once again, if you never heard that, you got to look up James Cleveland, Jesus is the best thing. You'll love it. God bless y'all. It's been fun. Take care. Enjoy your playing this week, okay?
Okay.
Thanks for hanging out. God bless y'all.